Guys, it's Charlotte, and I am here with another book review. So, I totally geeked out. So, I've been reading Melanie Ron's Touchstone. I love it. I love Melanie Ron, though. Melanie Ron is such an inspiration to me. I am currently writing my own fantasy, fiction novel, adventure novel, whatever. I'm writing my own book right now because she inspired me so much. I am such a huge fan. Reading her books was like bringing worlds to life in such a perfect, fluid way. Oh my gosh, I could talk endless days about her. She's so amazing. Karen Miller is another great author who does magic and mages so very well. I love the way she writes about clocks and gears and timeless pieces. The way that she materializes magic is fantastic. Karen Miller's writing style is way different than Melanie Ron, so just be prepared for the shift change. But anyways, guys, I'm here to do another book review. And the reason I said I totally geeked out is I have been a player of Dungeons and Dragons for a really long time. And Dungeons and Dragons has gone through so many different generations. It's gone through so many editions, okay, to separate out those time spans, that the authors who follow along with these freaking stories blow my mind. I get so excited. They haven't wrote a whole lot of stuff, though, that's been modern, like for 4th edition or 5th edition. I'm hoping that maybe Wizards of the Coast will band together and get some authors together and start writing some modern stories. That would be so fantastic. It would be so great. But we don't ever know if we're ever going to see that. So let me go ahead and get started with Forgotten Realms. Forgotten Realms, great time period. Some of my favorite D&D campaigns are from Forgotten Realms. But man, for you people out there who maybe don't play, start there. It is so majestic. For instance, I will start with this book. It's book 1 of the Icewind Dale trilogy, okay? Most of your D&D books are going to be either a series or a trilogy. And I'm telling you, Forgotten Realms is a series, but this section is only a trilogy. And it's not even the whole Forgotten Realms. So, I want to tell you that R.A. Salvatore is the same author who wrote Drizzt. R.A. Salvatore also wrote this. Drizzt is also of Forgotten Realms, but that's something that's a little bit more well-known, a little bit more popular. I'm not doing a book review on his stuff right now. And I don't really follow Drizzt as much as I follow Lolth. My husband, on the other hand, is a huge Drizzt fan. So, believe me, I know. So, R.A. Salvatore has a very unique writing style. He's a little bit slow-paced, but once he gets fast, he does not stop. You better pay attention to the details with R.A. Salvatore, especially in these books as well. The Crystal Shard, you really needed to pay attention to close detail. And I say that because character personalities, sometimes you'll have multiple strong, aggressive personalities. In this book, I felt like everybody blended well together, but sometimes if I didn't really pay attention to who was doing what, it wouldn't make sense to me why they were doing what they were doing. The Crystal Shard is a great book. One of the things that I really liked about it is the resilience of the main character. You get left for dead and just some random dwarf comes and saves your life, and all of a sudden you're like, what the hell, I have to be nice to you, or we're going to be companions now? Well, that's really how D&D goes. You guys will have this one common goal. You'll go to reach that common goal, but does that mean that you won't have differences? Heck no. So there is kind of some differences in there. People trying to prove themselves. Just the playful banter back and forth that just evolves the friendship. And with D&D, you don't have to worry about a whole bunch of lusty romance. It's all about friendship, companionship, overcoming trials. It is a great book to read, especially if you're trying to develop characters yourself for what you're trying to write. I feel like these are great examples of how to have really vested, intricate, complex characters. They do such an amazing job of really delving you into these people. Really, there's nothing about them that you don't know and that you do know. There's always some kind of mystery that unfolds in the proper way, not in the boom, it's in your face kind of way, if you know what I mean. So, The Crystal Shard is a great book. It's a great read, and I love the party system in every D&D book ever written. Always party-based. You're always in a group, you're always with your friends, and you're always kicking evil's freaking ass. You're also getting your butt kicked by evil as well, but just saying. Anyways, so The Crystal Shard is a must have. You do want to go ahead and get everything in the Icewind Dale trilogy, but for me personally, just get everything D&D you can ever get your hands on. Just get it. You will love it. Just get it. Okay, so speaking of D&D, I have another one, and it's from a completely different realm. It is not Forgotten Realms. It is the Dragonlance Badass. Oh, this is such a bad angle. Okay, hold on. So, one of my favorite D&D authors is Margaret Weis. And I do apologize, I do have a little bit of gook on my book, but that's because I was always folding the page. I never paid attention. Margaret Weis. So this one is the second generation. It is kind of... It's introducing you for what will come. Dragonlance is really long. Like, it's got multiple series in itself, just like Forgotten Realms does, but Dragonlance is really long. If I had to explain it, like most books are about this thick. There's at least 3 to every adventure, and sometimes there's even 4. So what they're really doing is building you up to a couple of other books that are going to come later in the series, but it's teaching you about an entire generation. So you're coming out of a time and coming into a new time. It's like a transitional book. So I highly recommend this book for people who are already well vetted into the Dragonlance series. If you're not, then go ahead and get started. It doesn't take long at all. But this book, you will not understand what is going on if you haven't already started reading Dragonlance. It's amazing. The Queen of Darkness is back for revenge and vengeance. And if you're not familiar with who she is, well, like I said, it's a great idea to start reading into Dragonlance and figuring out who she is, why we killed her, why is it a bad thing she's back. This book will touch on it, but not in the same in-depth kind of way as if you had already been reading and following up with the timeline. But again, great revenge story, great party character system, great mythical creature exploration. I feel like the way that they bring the dragons in, it's not like this god creature, but at the same time, it's not a dumbed down lizard either. So it's not Godzilla, and it's not a doji dragon either. It's got a nice balance in between. So again, mythical creatures in D&D are just so well balanced out, so well written. It's really a great, fantastic novel. All fantasy, no sci-fi. It's absolutely wonderful. So, obviously you can tell I've been on like a mythical creature binge. Total fantasy overload. And I don't know